Yeah.
Okay. On computer. And one minute. I don't understand. It's not so fast.
What?
1 minute. Yeah, so now it is live. It is live. It is live, I see. So let's start.
Sure.
Yeah. Good evening, good afternoon, and good morning, friends. Thank you for joining our first meeting of cycle of leadership stories. This project I was conceived by support of the World Leaders Summit as an education for future and current leaders, entrepreneurs, and those who want to become such. Stories are the best learning tool for because nobody teaches you how to become a leader. So that's why I decided to invite our guests, our famous entrepreneurs and leaders, that you could have a chance to learn from them. And it is a great honor for me to introduce our first invited guest to open the cycle of leadership stories. Arijit Bhattacharyya. Arijit Bhattacharyya is an angel investor, serial entrepreneur who opened his first company, Virtual Infocom, at the age of 17. Arijit is a founder of World Leaders Summit, Glamour Face, Entrepreneur Face, and many other global projects. And also Arijit, a TEDx speaker, business mentor in 60 countries around the world. A man who put an entire city in India on its feet. And actually, Arijit, I'm so excited. Please tell us about yourself more, because it's not all your achievements. And I know that you have very interesting life and entrepreneurial life and personal life. Please share with us your journey. Tell us about your journey. How did you achieve success? And please, floor is yours, Arijit.
First of all, привет.
Привет.
Как дела?
Отлично. И ты говоришь по-русски. Замечательно. Я думаю, наша аудитория будет очень рада это услышать. I think our audience will be very glad to hear that you know our language.
Yes, 200%. Okay, so as you asked me about my life, my journey, and how I started the entrepreneurial journey, let me first take you back to my childhood. Before that, let me reintroduce myself. So, whatever my beautiful friend said, it's all about probably a shell which actually defines a human being as probably a sequence of time frames where humankind feel that, okay, fine, I have got such kind of CEO tag, I have such kind of founders tag, I have such kind of probably entrepreneurs tag, I have such kind of industrialist tag. Along with that, probably I'm a great human being, and probably I have got a fancy car, and probably I've got a great house, and of course I have achieved so much in life. But I define myself as a very simple human being who is trying to understand if I can be a water or not. So that's how I define myself. So if you ask me, um, I'm a simple small dot, a catalyst in the world who can probably help you to connect with some other interesting human beings so that all of us can grow together. So let me take you to my childhood first. So when I started my entrepreneurial journey, I was 17, and as my friend said, that's the time I started my journey. It was 1998. So for people who are young, for you guys, there was no Google, there was a non-existence of smartphones. It was a time when people used to listen to radios, people used to watch black and white television. To some extent, people used to use a base phone. And when I was a kid, I had the pleasure of playing in muds. I had the pleasure of playing with friends and probably chew the same fruit with other friends. We used to have bite common together. But now, if you look at the same situation, probably you will say, "Oh my God, this is really, really, we can't do that. We have hygieneness. We have a lot of different virus which will attack us." So somehow, been through all these kind of activities, which nowadays people will say that's crazy, that's mad enough, and I'm completely fine with it. So when I was a kid, when I was probably in class fourth standard or maybe fifth standard, I had a dream to draw a lot of characters. I had a dream to create superheroes, and I was reading a lot of mythological stories, a lot of you can say different cultural storybooks, and of course, I had a book translated in my own mother tongue, which is one of your cultural book. It used to call as the Russian folklore. I'm just translating that into English so that you can
Wow.
understand. And when I was reading all those stories of Nikita Kazamika, all those Baba Yaga stories, I was really fascinated that wow, how beautiful this culture is. And then I tried to connect with the same thing with our own culture, which we call as Bharatiya culture. So Indian name is actually given name to us by British. We never used to call ourselves as Indians. Indians are given name. We used to call ourselves as Bharatiya, and this country used to declare itself as Bharatvarsh. That there is a long history behind this. So when I was reading all those fascinated historical book, magical book, I used to think that is it only magic? I mean, is there any kind of science behind it? Is it all myth? Is it all that people are probably looking at it as a only non-believing structures? Or it can be possible. Or can I convert all those beautiful stories into character-based something which can give a constructive structure into it? And as because I think it was 1990s or 1991, as because there was no computer, I had the pleasure to draw on a piece of paper. So I used to use a ballpoint pen, a black ballpoint pen. Started creating my own comics, and my first character was Bullet. That's a superhero name that I give, and I started writing it, and I started writing pure comics, pure characters with action poses. It was like a kiddish stuff, and when you connect emotion with those kiddish stuff, and when you try to explore the opportunity to connect mythology and trying to dig the science behind the mythology, of course the whole universe is actually helping you. So I had the pleasure of criticism in my school days. Yeah, my friends used to give me a lot of inputs that this character is really bad, or maybe this storyline is not that great, and 90% of the students used to bully me, and I became slowly a introvert character. I stopped sharing. I started uh, becoming an artist who basically don't share anything to others, none
Mm.
of them. Okay, and when this passion became really really huge, I started making comics in my history classes, and of course my history teacher said that, hey, you are making comics in my history class, get out. So I used to be thrown out of the class when I was in class 6 standard, 7th standard, 8th standard. And of course, in geography classes, of course, in history classes, those are boring classes for me. I was inclined with science in my school days. So I used to attend only the physics, mathematics, and chemistry. Of course, all those other things, I thought that these are all theory. I mean, I don't need to learn all these things. And frankly speaking, whatever is there in the syllabus, I have actually been through all those kind of storylines in my other books, in my other probably structures. So I started going to a lot of different temples to learn and understand the real fact, real culture. Somehow, um, when I look back to my childhood, somehow it was like all scattered data. So whatever data I got, I tried to convert them into information, and slowly those information became knowledge. I started learning Sanskrit. Sanskrit nowadays is a dead language, but because it's if you really dig into the cultural activities, you need to learn the old language. I learned Sanskrit, Pali a little bit, explored all those kind of opportunities that is possible. Now, why the hell I'm sharing all this kind of information? This is nowhere connected with entrepreneurship. This is nowhere connected that how I started my company. But that was the seed which actually enables me in 1997 when I was just passing my school days. I haven't passed yet. I was thinking that what I'm going to do next. The options were that I should go for an engineering degree, I should go for some other doctor's degree, or probably I'll become a professional in my life. But then, when moving with my bicycle, I used to do a lot of bicycling in those days. I used to cycle miles and miles, you know. And when I was going from here and there, I was traveling in very different villages. I was watching poor people. They are actually moving here and there. They don't have money to buy things. They don't have a good livelihood. And then I saw a few of the artists who um used to draw, and I used to join them in my Sundays and Saturdays. They were really, really happy. And those artists told me that, you know what, as an artist, this is perfectly fine. We are creators. We are not money makers. We don't care if we are making money or not. Artist life is like this. Then I asked one of them that, then how come you buy your colors? How come you buy your brush? How will you buy your canvas? The answer was, God will give us. So I asked myself that this is the right kind of answer. Is it something that I can do? Probably there's a gap. Probably these people, they are fascinated guys. They are great people. They are artists. But somehow there is a gap. They probably don't get the point that if they are making money, that is also good. So it's not the point that artists shouldn't make money. The point is probably these artists don't know how to make money. Can I be that person? Can I convert all those kind of comics that I have created so far, all those superheroes, can I monetize them? Can I connect all those old mythological stories, or probably old Greek stories, or probably old Russian cultures, or probably old Mayan cultures into a completely different shape? So when I started, there was a discussion with my parents. So let me give you a basic idea about my parents. My mom, she's a public prosecutor, used to deal with always police and criminals. My father, he's a corporate guy, and of course a lawyer, gold medalist. And he used to push me that I should do study, I should go for sports. He never ever told me that you should do that or you shouldn't do that. But I had a talk with my father, and he told me, okay, fine. If you really want to start your venture, I am no one to stop you, but you need to go through all the degrees and diplomas, whatever I'm looking for you. Number one.
Mhm.
If you're here, just tell me that if I'm too fast for your audience. Sometimes I'm really too fast. I
No,
will go slow.
it's
Perfect.
very interesting. It's very interesting. Now I understand how we can call your journey like young painter who became an entrepreneur. Yeah.
Kind of, yeah. So I had a chat with my father, and it started at 8:30 p.m. in night, which went towards like 4 o'clock in the morning. And we decided that whatever degree he is looking for me, I will achieve all those degrees, and in return, he will let me start my venture from his house. So I started from a garage, literally, and of course that was my study room, a small room. Um, so the journey was not that simple. I'll try to make it interesting for you guys. Like it's not a movie, so it might happen that you don't find any hero or heroine or villain in the movie. But yes, that's my life. So when I started. I used to be slim. I used to have a lot of hair in my head, but somehow because of all those kind of activities, when people earn money, they lose their hair, and that's what happened to me. So when I started, I had no money. I had no computers. I had no team. I had nothing. Literally, only a dream that I'll create something meaningful in life, something for my country, so that my countrymen can actually smile, and that smile should have a dignity. Um, so when I tried to create a superhero based game, I found that this is really costly. It's not easy. And to make games, you need to be a coder. It's not only as an artist. So what I did, I started learning coding. I started learning various different language on my own, from internet, from books. On those days, it used to be Yahoo as search engine, Internet Explorer, and Windows 98. So of course, OS was different.
Wow.
Internet was really, really costly. There was no defined software which you can use for your graphic designing. So whatever I learned on my own. I installed a compiler which runs on C++. Started doing very basic level of coding. Slowly, I understood that to make game, you need a different kind of level of understanding of coding.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it was really hard and challenging because in my country, in my city at least, there was no information how to make games. And trust me, there was no one who can actually guide me and tell me, hey, you should do this degree, or you should read that book to understand how to make games. So
Mm-hmm.
I started making it from the scratch. I started creating characters, started making them step by step movement with 8 to 24 different frames, which nowadays we call as classical animation. Then I used to call it as normal animation. I used to use a very basic piece of glass, and I started making a sequence of characters on the top of that, and then take some pictures. I brought one of my friend's camera, took the pictures, and then thought that probably I can do the coding. I went to the cyber cafes, put those pictures into their computers, started learning coding over there, started making games, and for next, I think 6 to 7 months, the question from that cyber cafe guy was, why the hell you come every day, pay me money, and do some kind of coding in my computer, save it and go back? What exactly you're doing? I told him that I'm making a game. He said, are you crazy? People come here to play games. You're making a game, are you crazy? I said, yeah, I'm that kind of crazy person. I'm going to make it. So in any way, that game which I started making, um, somehow I felt that this is not going to happen in a cafe. Number one, there is a security issue. Number two, I can't give a lot of time. So maybe I should change my strategy. I should earn some money, build my own computer, and probably then I can do something cool. So I'm a kind of person, if I think something that I'll be doing something, I usually do. I don't think twice or thrice. It's just one time decision that I do. And so what I did, I started a very simple machine assembling business. So I asked people that, can I give you machines? Can I sell you computers? I can assemble computers. By the way, in front of you and your audience, I didn't knew how to make computers on that time, but I just
Mm-hmm.
said that I'll be making computer for you. So somehow here and there, moving from one location to another location, one decent lady, she said that, okay, fine, you know what? I'm actually alone over here. My husband stays in some other country, and I want to really engage my timing and all. Uh, Probably if I buy a computer, maybe I can learn something on my own. So yeah, I mean, if you can make a computer, of course. So I told him on her face that I'm going to make money and I need profit, and I don't have money. So you need to give me
Mm-hmm.
advance and you need to trust me. And trust me, Evgenia, when the first customer of yours give all the trust to you, that's a big responsibility. So she gave me all the 90% advance money to me. I went to the locality from where I can buy a computer system. It was an assembled computer system. So I was moving from one shop to another shop so that I can buy it a very optimized price for her, not to make money only for me. And I was looking at 3,000 rupees profit, which is something similar to your currency now. Okay, so 3,000 rupees profit from one computer, not very high profit. So the system that I created for her, it was really good, to be very honest. She was really happy, and she said that I'm really happy that you gave me this system, and she started worshiping the system. She started worshiping the computer because in '98 there was very limited number of people who used to have computer in their houses in India, at least in my city. And she started spreading the news that this guy is really amazing. He made a computer for me with just cost to cost, and he is upfront. He says that he's going to make money, and he usually says that what kind of money he's going to make. So people started believing me. I started getting orders. From one order, it became approximate five to it became 10, 10 becomes 20. And slowly I realized that probably this is the kind of business that I can make money with. So I sold around 10 computers, made some money, brought one computer for me, and I started an academy in my house. And I had only one student who was a kid who came to me to learn how to code gaming. So the learning was like for both. I was learning and I was actually teaching him. So the teaching procedure started, and slowly from one student it became 20, 20 became 5,000 within I think 2 years. But you know what happened? The dream that was there in 1998 just gone away. Like in 2000, I was making money from students. I was selling computers, a lot of computers. I started employees, faculties. So I started the academy where I started recruiting faculties. I like it was a full house. You can imagine 5,000 students in academy is a sizable institute. Okay, so but the dream that started that I'll be creating games and that will break some myth or probably doing something good for country was totally flushed away from the entire journey that happened for 2 years. I realized one day that this is not going to happen. I'm becoming more and more a teacher, not an entrepreneur. This is not entrepreneurship. So I need to create something meaningful. I need to create a product. So I created a team of four, five people who were my early students, my first initial level students. I told them that if you really believe in me, just come and join and let's do something meaningful together. One of them left his job, and to be very honest, my students and me, we didn't have a lot of age gap. Like they were probably 1 year younger than me, and of course, it's like it became like a friendship level. We created a small team, created one game together. Please tell me, Evgenia, if I'm taking so much of your time, then I'll probably make it very shorter. Is it
It's
fine?
very interesting. My goal of this program, Leadership Stories, it's about exactly life stories. It's about not just about some expertise, your entrepreneurship expertise. It's very interesting what we have, what entrepreneurs have behind of their job and how they actually became such a person, yeah, uh, which they which are now. For me, I have a question. I see
Can
that
I finish the story before we go for question and answer round? Is it
okay,
fine?
finish the story. Yeah, actually, I would
Because
like
it's
to.
like, yeah, it's like a half-baked story, which I don't like, really speaking. Yeah.
Okay,
So
continue, please.
yeah. So what happened when I created the team and the team structure became really solid? Within around I think 8 months, we were able to produce one game, which is based out of one of the mythological character from our own Sindhu culture. And the question came like from five of those guys, we have been making this game for quite a long time now. And where exactly we are going to market it? Where exactly we are going to sell it? Who is going to buy it?
Good
You're
question.
paying us, that is fine. You're paying us, that is perfectly fine. But that payment is, I realize that payment is coming from the institution, not from the production part. So production is not started yet. We just got one product which is ready. We don't even know whether market will accept it or not. So the interesting part is now we need to market it, we need to sell it. How to sell, where to sell was a question. I tried my best, to be very, very honest, in 2000 to sell that game. I never had that kind of network who can probably understand where to sell them, which company can actually buy it. If I have ever heard about a company called Sony, I don't know how to connect Sony people. I don't know whether they will buy it or not. So what I did, instead of going here and there, I went to a nearby marketplace where my hardware journey started, right? And I had a chat with a lot of people who used to do data piracy, game piracy, and I had a chat with one of the biggest guy in that market. And he knew me because I am a regular visitor into that market for buying machines. He said, I mean, what is your proposition? I said, you know what? I have got a game which is not available in the market. It is not there with you, not even there with anybody at the moment in India. He
Mm-hmm.
said, are you crazy? How did you get it? I said, yeah, I mean, that's my secret. Why shall I share you my secret? But this is there. You can check it. He said, okay, fine. Can I test? I said, yeah, of course. So I installed that game into his computer. He
Mm-hmm.
started playing. He really loved it. He asked 4 or 5 more guys to come and check the game. So, frankly speaking, there became a queue to play the game. It was so interesting. So the guy said that, okay, fine, I will be more than happy to probably buy it from you. I said, no, this is not going to happen. I'm not going to sell this. This is going to happen on a sharing basis. I'm going to give you a 50% profit, whatever sales that you're going to do. But you need to promise me that you need to wipe off all your bullshit piracy business. I don't want to shake hand with a person who is doing illegal activities. That's
Mm-hmm.
not good for my company. He said, okay, fine, but how will you do it? Do you have a legal person? I said, I am the legal person. I'm going to create a MOU and you need to sign, and then that's it. He said, okay, fine. Trust me, he stopped all these piracy activities and he started this game selling company all of a sudden. And he said that you are my first partner. And he actually started selling our games like anything because he had all the network that was unheard of. Probably people don't actually explore those kind of paths, but he did. He started selling the game with only 10 rupees per CD basis.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, initially it was loss, then slowly the price became approximate 150, then it became 250. We started making money, and of course I understood that this is the probably beginning of our journey where we can get a little bit of success. And slowly I started segregating the company. One part became production part, one part became slowly education part. So in education, we started giving training. From the training, we used to filter out people, take them into production. We started doing a lot of production, started selling games slowly from those small market. I started exploring out of India opportunities. It was probably 16 years back or 17 years back. Yeah, 2021, 17 years back. I
Mm-hmm.
started traveling from India to another country. I was pretty young, of course, you can understand. And when you travel alone, you learn a lot when you travel to a European country. And started making deals with companies for becoming their partners, creating games, sometimes getting a lot of software orders, getting a lot of different kind of client orders. The company became really big. Company became really successful, glorious, and of course, I had the pleasure of having cars, having a lot of different luxuries in life,
Finally.
and slowly, I thought that if I can explore the movie market. Okay, I forgot to share you that story. I'm really sorry. Behind these all these glories, I started thinking that if we can work with the movie industry. So I
Mm-hmm.
started going to the movie industry people, started talking to those directors who were really big on that time. telling them that, hey, you know what, we have these gaming capabilities, we're doing pretty good, pretty cool, we want to help you guys, we can actually do visual effects. But I think I was too early for them. It was too early for that so-called Tollywood
Industry.
movie industry. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it's really too early for them. They didn't understood what exactly I'm trying to say, and I was like asked not to come there again and again in the studio. I said, okay, fine.
Hmm.
So when I had all those kind of success, I thought that probably I can do something great in the movie industry. So please remind me when I tell you my stories. Probably you need to remind me that you're skipping the movie part. So what happened after all those glories? I thought that maybe there are people who need help. There are people who need the same kind of knowledge that I didn't have, which I actually explored and learned by myself by moving
Mm-hmm.
my legs from my own country to some other countries and connecting
Mm-hmm.
with international business. Um, while doing all those kind of activities, I started communicating with Korean market. I've been invited as a delegate over there. Started a small partnership over there and started making super cool, amazing technological products over there. Made again another glory, name, face, etc. Came back to India, and when you have name, of course, media is after you. And I started getting lot of calls from media. They wanted to create my story, wanted to put me in the newspaper, wanted to put me in the TVs. So I became famous like anything, and I became probably the face of at least in my state. People started saying that, oh my God, this is Arijit Bhattacharya, the face of Bengal.
Could I
And sorry.
could I interrupt you? In what age you became a famous? So how much
I
time?
um, Probably when I was 27, I became
27.
famous.
So it's 10 years of experience and learning by yourself, yeah. And after
Yeah,
10 years.
yeah. So I was in TV, I was in news channel, I was in every possible media that you can think of, and
Mm-hmm.
of course, I started thinking that wow, I have done something great in my life and amazing things that I have done so
Wow.
far. So I went back to those movie guys, not to those directors, but I was different now. Now my characteristics became different. My body shape became different. My suits became different. My movement became different. I I had that specs which you can see, but that was a different model, of course. But yes, I had that specs, and I started talking to a few of the celebrities. Tell them that, you know what, I want to build a game on real characters, real people. They said, what does it mean? I said, you are probably popular in your own state, but I'm going to make you popular globally. Again, they couldn't believe me. They said, this is bullshit. I mean, who is this guy? Maybe he's famous, but how can he make us popular?
Mm-hmm.
So I thought, okay, let me teach you guys a lesson. So what I did, instead of taking them, I started recruiting freshers, fresh models from the industry, and I started hiring them, giving them a small bit of money, which was really big for them. They used to earn a very small amount of money by doing modeling, and I paid double of that, sometimes triple to that. And we started creating 3D simulated characters in our games, which was probably India's first breakthrough to create characters based on real actor and actress and model.
Hmm.
And I had a girl who was from a very different small town from hills. Somehow she got that I'm building such kind of game. She gave me a call in the early morning and say that, hey, big brother, I am such and such. My name is such, and I want to become a model into your game. I want to test. I want to dedicate myself. I said, okay, fine. Please come to my city. Let us see. So the challenge is there was
Mm-hmm.
no photographer who can understand how to take pictures. There was no studio who can give us the flexibility to create a 360-degree panorama picture of a person. We build it from scratch. I started giving training to the photographers how to take pictures. Now, if you remember, in the early days, I used to take photos of my cartoon. That knowledge was now utilizing to create characters inside studio. And because I'm an artist, it became really easy to visualize how to create characters. Because I'm a coder, a hardcore one, it was easy to understand if I create character like this, or rather take pictures like this, my coders can do activities in a very decent way. So all those knowledge started making a shape, and we created India's first RPG called Ashwathama, the Immortal. And I took Kaladipayattu fighters. We recorded their sequence, which is world's first martial art style on fighting, and there is a history about it. I actually traveled to Kerala to learn and understand that fighting style. Took one of the master who can show us the movement, and hence we created that India's first RPG game with all the real actor and actress inside the game. The game became popular, of course. And when the game became popular, all these people who are freshers, they became
Mm.
popular. And when they became popular like anything, like a blast. And they were then connecting me, saying that you become a guru to us, like teach us how to become more and more successful in life. And I said, okay, fine, hold on. There are a lot of surprise waiting. So I'm a kind of person, I usually don't say much before I do. So slowly we started another company, which is based out on cosplay. Cosplay, if you don't know, is called costume play, which is exactly depicting the characters in a video game or maybe a superhero character in real life. So
Mm.
we did country's first own superhero based cosplay show in 2008, probably 2008, yeah, 2008, 2009, in a hotel, and that show became really, really, heart throbbing to all the people, and all these models, they started getting media hype, and of course some international media, they did their news, and now they are becoming popular everywhere. And those
Mm.
celebrities, they started giving me calls. Hey, you didn't told us that this is going to happen. I said, come on, you didn't believe me. And all those directors who said that this is not my place, now they're sending us mail, now they're sending us calls saying that, can you please make our movies popular? I say,
Mm.
yeah, I mean, of course, we are ready to help you. We are ready to give you the opportunity. So that's how Glam World Face started, because you introduced me as a founder and CEO of Glam World Face. That's how Glam World Face started. So Glam World Face right now is working with 17 different countries with mainly the fresh actor, actress, artist, photographers, and designers. Of course, we take care of the celebrities. Why shouldn't we? Of course, we do that. But
Mhm.
our main focus is giving chance to the fresh models. I can go on with names that how many number of fresh models became really popular. But yes, it's a humble request to all of you. Of course, they are human beings, but yes, whatever training I give them, till date they are humble. Till date they are humble to all the people.
Mhm.
So that's how Glam World Fest started, and I became more popular. So I started entering into those celebrities. I started walking with them. I did ramp shows. I did live concerts. I walked in live cosplay shows or fashion garment shows.
Wow.
I became judges, etc.,
Celebrities
etc.
life.
Yeah, celebrities life. And then I was thinking that probably I can expand my business. Now, what I did, I used to travel in a car whenever I go to a new city or new state to understand the state better. And I was traveling in a location which is in a location called Gujarat and Rajasthan, in between the places. And
Mhm.
there was a place, it was winters, there was a place when the temperature is really low, at least for India. I know for Russia that's pretty okay. It was minus 2 degrees centigrade outside. And I was inside my car, and of course, it was comfortable. I was working in my laptop, and the car stopped in a signal, and when I looked right hand side of my window, I just heard a cry of a child. And I mean, he or she, I couldn't understood it in the dark, is crying aloud. And her mother, I saw in a, you know, half dark, half light situation that she was not very mentally stable woman. But because the kid is crying loud, she just opened up her dress. She became half naked, wrapped that kid, and tried to give him comfort.
Mm.
Just think. signal opened, car started, and I started thinking that what's the purpose of my starting of my business? Why the hell I can't help them? I became kind of half celebrity. I became a media face. I made money. I am doing things. I have a company. I have a decent life. But that was not the purpose of creating my company. My purpose was actually to
Help,
uplift Indians.
help
Yeah,
people.
help
Yeah.
people. But
Mm-hmm.
I'm not doing it. Instead of that, I'm just enjoying my life. So shame on me. So after 4 or 5 days, when I'm back to my own city, to my own office, I declared a very thumb rule that we are going to help all those poor village. And I created a separate team who go to village, trying to understand what are the kind of skill set these people have. We started giving them training on handicrafts. We started giving them trainings on how to do pickles, how to do a lot of knitting, how to do a lot of dresses. And we
Mm.
integrated the cosplay stuff into gaming with fashion technology. They started making dresses, they started creating those pickles, and we started exporting them through our channels. So somehow we have a decent amount of fan followers and channels and market. We utilize all of them to earn money for these people. So I hate giving money to people that actually kills your backbone. Instead of that, we made them self-sustaining. So whatever
Mm-hmm.
money is being earned from all these business activities, 20% goes to the team. Team means who are actually working in these villages so that they can
Mm-hmm.
also run it. And 80% goes to these village guys so that they can sustain and they have a very healthy livelihood. So they used to earn around less than or about $20 per month as a family income. And after all these kind of activities, exporting stuffs and all, their income level increased to approximate $1,500, and then slowly that increased to a decent level of money. And they became really happy. They now have clean water, they have electricity, they have proper road, all these things they have built on their own. They don't need any kind of support and help from the government. And that was my dream, to become self-sustaining as a model, as a business model, as a structure. So and then, of course, life went on. I started exploring opportunities of helping a lot of more people. So slowly it started as a passion to help other entrepreneurs, give them knowledge, give them money, give them investment support. But that eventually became a very different path. Like, of course, because you introduced me as an angel investor, I invest in companies as an angel investor.
Mm-hmm.
But when I invest, I'm very particular. When I invest, I am a very brutal, shrewd guy who needs his money back from the business because it's
Mm-hmm.
investment business. But when I do anything on particular helping people, I don't expect any kind of return. You can always give me return maybe after 2 decades. I don't mind. But I need my hard earned money back. I don't care how you're going to give me. I need that back. If I give you an option that, okay, fine, this is for free. Nothing is for free, my friend, in this world. If somebody is saying that this is free from government, that means it is actually paid by the taxpayers' money. Nothing is free. So somehow I believe in a concept that whatever we are doing for good and we are doing for eternity. And whatever small learning I have, if you are looking for my life story, it's basically all about probably understanding that we are really, really tiny, we are really small. And leadership, if you ask me, is not a quality that how much followers you have created in your life, rather, how many leaders you have created in your life. If you can't create more leaders, you are not a leader. Leadership is not about dictatorship. There's a big difference. So, over to you, question and answers.
I feel like I'm watching very interesting movie, and I don't want to stop you. It's really interesting, and yes, I would like to ask you, what do you think? Where is this a leadership? So how can you define?
How
How
can I
can
define what?
leadership? It's a leadership story. So when I will change my question. When a leader became a leader,
When leader becomes a leader, first of all, if
becomes a
you're
leader.
not, yeah, when first of all, when you are not a leader, then you cannot become a leader. It is there inside you. I'm so sorry for this statement, but it comes from your childhood. Sometimes you see that there is a kid who is asking all the other kids, hey, come, let's play together. So that's a small spark. Okay. And there are kids who say that, wow, he's asking us to play together. So let's go. So these are the people who are probably the potential leaders. They are not actually with inborn leadership quality. So there are two different part of it. One is inborn leadership quality. Another one is if you can make them leader or not. To be very honest, directly to the answer, what are the leadership qualities? Number one, you need to understand how to be humble. That's first quality. Second quality, adapting capability. You need to be adaptive like anything. Okay, let me make it on a metaphoric way. Probably that will be interesting for your audience.
Sure.
A leader is like a snake. Now, snake people feel that that's a very bad animal. No, it's different. What I mean, do you remember that people used to call me mad, crazy?
Yeah.
So for me, mad is a word, which is an English word, which inner meaning is moderate, accurate, and determined. So if you're mad, you are a leader. So you need to have all these three words in your dictionary, and you need to write your own dictionary. Moderate, accurate, and determined. Okay, that's mad in my dictionary. Now, if I go back to the snake part, people usually feel, okay, becoming snake is bad. Like snake bites, snake is not good, it's not good looking, it eats like animals, and it's a nasty thing. No. Snake quality means if you are hibernating, you are not sleeping. As a leader, you may sleep, but back in your mind, you are hibernating, you're thinking what to do in the next morning. If you have snake quality, people will see that you are actually sleeping, or maybe you're not sleeping because your eyelash is not there. So as a leader, you shouldn't show the world that you are dead. You should be dynamic. As a leader, you shouldn't have a movement which is very straight. Snake never ever goes straight. You can't determine which way it can actually move because it's so dynamic. Snake usually can release its own skin, and it can have a fresh skin. As a leader, as an entrepreneur, you need to accept the fact anything is dynamic, everything is changing, ever changing. You have to be adaptive. If your existing business is not working, change your business model, be dynamic, and move fast. Snakes do have venom in their brain. As a human being, we all have venom in our brain. But your venom shouldn't kill you. Your venom should be utilized to probably kill your potential threat. That's the quality of snake I meant. It's not a bad quality. So these are the qualities if you have, to be very honest. It sounds very funny, very shrewd, but yes, it's interesting to explore how to become that kind of personality. And of course, snake never ever bites you if you don't hurt it. Okay? They will never hurt you. They will be very calm and quiet. If you hurt them, of course, there will be a repercussion.
It's about boundaries.
Of course.
Internal boundaries, yeah. You need to be confident when you're a leader.
Yep. Now, sometimes only confidence gives you a different situation. Probably if you are so fast, you sometimes create some mistake, but that's part of life. It doesn't matter if you're doing mistake. If you're not doing mistake, then that means that you are not doing anything.
You don't have experience. How will you teach people, if you don't have such experience?
Of course. So it's okay. It's perfectly fine if you are not perfect in word. There is no word called perfection. Right? So whatever you do, that is perfect. Whatever you do, that is positive. If you look at the graph, I'll go to mathematics a little bit. If you look at the graph, it's basically like x-axis and a y-axis. If this is your y-axis, this is your x-axis. If you are in this line, you are plus x. Okay, and when you are in that line, you are minus x-axis. But for me, if you're moving over here, this line basis, It's positive. This is also positive, but in a negative axis. So it depends on you which path you are going to choose. This is also positive. This is also positive. Okay? You can't say that this is negative. No. In life, everything is positive. It depends on you whether you really, really want to get a successful life. You have to be positive. No, don't think that who says what. It's completely relative, Evgenia. If you feel that I'm good, probably I'm very bad in somewhere in someone's life. Of course, that may happen. One person cannot be good everywhere. Then I'm a monk. Then I should leave the normal usual life and probably stay in a in a in a in a probably in a jungle, or maybe on the top of a mountain, so that people can't touch me. Then you can say, wow, yeah, you should be humble, you shouldn't you should be very, very peaceful, you should have a peace of mind. Now come on, you're not communicating with people. That cannot be done.
Yeah, very interesting. Thank you very much. And I am agree with you that really about your positive view on the world and on our life. It depends. Everything in our life is happening in the right time. Yeah, it's about positive. And I know that now you are a founder of the World Leader Summit, and it's your new project for helping people. And I know that you now organize event, beautiful event in the International Women's Day. And I have an interesting question for you. Could you share with us what is the value of women in your entrepreneurial life?
Oh, wow. Thank you so much for this question. Okay, I hate defining a day as International Women's Day. I'm really sorry. Every day is International Women's Day. Without women, we can't move, we can't live. Let me take you back to one of my life story then. I have a lot of things to share, but because of time, I usually skip those things. I'm really sorry. So, in my earlier days when we started selling games, I had to travel to our capital city called Delhi. And on that time, as you remember, I didn't had a lot of money in my pocket. I used to give it to my employees, and I used to earn a very small bit of amount of money. So I took a train, go there so that we can have a business meeting with potential customers. And I stayed in a very normal, usual hotel over there so that I can move around and have some food and probably meet people. Uh, Within 2 days, I was supposed to meet the people. Meeting didn't happen. I had to extend my stay. And my situation was that if I stay in a hotel, uh, I can't move using the car or bus, and probably I won't get money to buy my food also. So what I did, I went towards the railway platform, and in the railway platform, you know that there's a waiting room, right? You can stay in a waiting room in railway platforms. So I started talking to the lady who was in charge of that waiting room. I told her that I greeted her as auntie. I said that auntie, I really don't have money to stay in a hotel. This is what I want to do. This is how I came, and this is where I have to move. And could you please allow me to probably sleep at night in your waiting room and use the toilet and bathing room so that I can take a shower? And I promise I'm not going to stay for full day. I don't know what happened. She said, "Okay, beta." Beta means okay, son. Okay, son, you can stay for probably a couple of hours at night, and you need to promise me that when duty changes for me, you have to go out. I said, okay, no problem, my promise. So the fun part happened is like I had to stay around 3 more days in Delhi, and I was staying in that waiting room. I was saving money. I was eating once a day, mainly the breakfast part, and I was meeting my potential clients and used to come back to the waiting room. Used to sleep at night, and the third day, I got the order. I was so happy, like, oh my God, I got the first. I got the first order from Delhi. That's great. And I was really happy and came back and told auntie that I got my job is done. I got the order which I came for. Thank you so much. I'm buying a ticket and I'm going back to my city now. And I greeted her and I touched her feet. So touching feet means I'm actually giving her a lot of respect in Indian culture. So in India, we usually do namaskar like this, and when it is elder, we touch their feet. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so that's in our Sindhu culture. So when I touched her feet, she said that how many days you didn't eat properly. I said, how did you understood? She said, I'm a mom. I can understand everything. So here's my tiffin. You eat it. I said, this is fine. I'm just going back to my home. It's late night train I'm going to catch. She said, how you're going to eat in train? I understand everything. So you just take my tiffin. I said, then you cannot eat because that's your tiffin. She said, nothing gonna happen to me. We are mothers. So if you ask me the value of woman, that's the value of woman. No man can probably do that. Giving an unknown person a space for sleep, staying in a night, and then offering her own food on the last day without any expectation. I actually went back to Delhi after a couple of months. I
Mm-hmm.
tried to search for her. Her daughter became my sister. Till date, we are in touch. She is no more. She is no more, but we're in touch. So, if you ask me, I can tell you multiple number of incidents in my life. How it has been translated into a beautiful something called creation because of woman. So, if you ask me, value of woman is really huge in at least everyone's life, not only me. And it's because you mentioned about World Leader Summit, and I'm the founder. Of course, I'm the founder, and I think that we all are actually League of Guardians who are actually trying to make this thing beautiful, and you are one of them. I'm blessed to have you in our team. So, for the audience, World Leader Summit is actually happened in 2020, December 2020, from 7th to 16th of December, 10 days with 120 plus speakers, 16 judges from 90 plus countries with multiple number of startups award that we have given, several speakers, they spoke out of their heart, lot of knowledge session, and we all decided that we are going to continue this like anything. And that's where in 2021 we created a chamber of commerce and we created different sectorial bodies of industry to help each other, to uplift others, and we all felt that we should not celebrate International Women's Day. Rather, we should celebrate womanhood that is there. Women nowadays are CEOs, they are bosses, they are space travelers, they are army, they are everywhere. So we should at least hear all those unsung heroes stories, and put it in front of the world that hey, we are there for care, we listen to you, we are there to handhold and probably grow together. And that's the purpose. Thank you so much for this question, Evgeny.
Thank you for a beautiful answer. So I see that our time almost finished. Of course, it's very, very interesting to have this conversation with you. And I have a couple of questions. I don't know if you have around like 5 or 10 minutes, and I can ask
I
you
have
questions.
every bit of time of mine for you. So if you want to continue, I
A
can
lot of
continue for next 2 to 3 hours if you wish.
okay, it's my pleasure. So for me, interesting. There is, as I mentioned before, this our meetings, leadership stories. It's for education leaders and entrepreneurs. And you know what I'm thinking? How can you? We talk about entrepreneurship, and also we talk about leadership. So how entrepreneurship and leadership, how they tied together?
Well, come on, it's a kind of brotherhood. So if you are an entrepreneur, you have to be a leader, and if you are a leader, probably you can be an entrepreneur. You can
Mm-hmm.
be an entrepreneur. Now, let me help you with one question and answer.
Mm-hmm.
Um, in the social media, I wrote that entrepreneurship for me is riding on the top of tiger, and you said that then if you stop, that means that you are actually killing your
Die.
own business. Yeah, right?
That
You
you
said
will
that.
die. Yeah. So I
You're
asked
gonna
you.
die. You're gonna
So it
die.
means.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So let me define business and entrepreneurship for audience. Business and entrepreneurship are two different things. So if you feel that you are running a business, you are actually doing it for profit.
Mhm.
Entrepreneurs, they are actually running their own venture for passion. They don't care about money. Money is a byproduct. If you're running your venture as a business, which is your profit, then you have a situation that your business may die. Entrepreneurship never dies. It's a journey, it's a mindset. When you ride on top of a tiger, that means you fear that if you stop, tiger will eat you. And that's the reason you keep riding on it. And from the tiger's point of view, if the man is stopping me, I'm going to probably run away or I'm going to eat that person because I'm hungry. So it's my responsibility if I'm riding the tiger to keep feeding that tiger. And that food is money. So if you don't earn money, automatically the tiger will stop. That is, your venture will stop. And you feel that, oh my God, my venture is gone. Yeah, every business dies, but entrepreneurship remains same. If your business is dying, that doesn't mean you are dead. It means you can always start again and probably start your entrepreneurship journey again. Did I make sense for you?
Yeah, sure. It's very interesting. I like metaphors. It's always about deep meaning, and I'm agree that when you're entrepreneur, it's kind of it's part of your personality. It's not just business. Yeah, it's your personality. It's how you act, how you behaved in your life. And I have.
Personalities can be built, personalities can be maintained, but persona needs to be created. So personality means that what aura that you have created. So my aura is probably that you see me, but persona, what I am inside, that matters.
Mhm. Thank you. Thank you, teacher. And I see that entrepreneurship and teaching people in your life are connected. Yeah. So
Yeah,
it's always connected, as I see. You
yeah,
teach your team, you teach your people for whom you how can I say give job. Yeah, whom you give job. And also, you know what's interesting? When you create a team, for me, it's very interesting question. When you create a team, what is most important for you about person when you're choosing people?
okay, that's an interesting question. So, creating team and recruiting employees are two different things. Team
Mhm.
is such kind of people who can take bullets for you, and you can take bullet for them. Employees are such kind of people who are working for money. So when I choose people, it's really, really hard. It's really hard. And you want to know my trade secret. Okay. So initially they become employee in the company, and slowly it depends on their behavior. It depends on their background. I'm so sorry. That's really important. Background doesn't mean that whether you're a criminal or not, or whether you're coming from poor background or not, but
Mhm.
what is your family background, what kind of situations you have been through, how you have grown up in your life. It all affects your persona. So I usually go with persona before I choose anyone to become in my team. And when they become a teammate, it's a mixed mode culture. There will be negative, there will be positive, and that's the beauty. If you don't have the mixture, everybody becomes a yes man, that's not a team, that's your followers. So you should have a conflict between the people who are your teammates. They should say that, hey, you know what, boss, I think this is not right. You know what, this IoT device that we are making, this probably this gesture control ring that we are making, it's not going to
Mhm.
work. It's horrible. We should have someone in the team who can actually tell us on our face that it's not going to happen. And he or she should tell us what needs to be done. So saying that it's not going to happen is not a teammate. Saying that this is not going to happen, but this is how I feel it should be done is a teammate. Am I making sense?
Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah, when we not just yes people, then it's a way for creativity, for creating something new, something unique. Yeah, so it's very interesting. Okay, I have a lot of questions, and I wrote down a lot of questions during your story, so I just need to find what is the best for me. What can I choose? I think that we can have probably we can have some new interview with you in our future, and you can share with us all your wise thoughts. Then now I guess that it's better to finish for our audience, better to finish our interview. I'm very excited of your story, and I would like to hear more about you, about your life. So please tell what would you like to share with the audience in the end of our interview? Probably some advice you could give.
Now I need to understand your audience. Who are your audience first? I don't know your audience.
My audience, it's my clients, it's my friends, it's people with whom we did a lot of projects. It's really a different audience, and it's also coaches, coaches of International Coaching Federation and teachers. So it's people who like to get education. It's people.
So they want to get education, or they want to get wisdom, or they want to get knowledge. There are three different things.
Everything.
Well, I am not entitled to give everything. I'm a very small person. I don't have a lot of wisdom. What I have is real life knowledge. What I can share is few bit of experience from my real life knowledge. So if you ask me what should be the line for your audience, well, if you really want to get success in life, the best mantra to get success is to make others successful. Now, the interesting part is, if you don't know how to get success, how will you make others to become successful? Then you learn it by holding hand of someone who is experienced enough. So probably someone who is very, very experienced. And to do that, the best possible option is become really humble and say that I don't know anything. I don't understand anything. I'm eager to learn. I'm not qualified. I don't have, if I have degrees, that's fine, that's perfectly fine, but I'm not wise enough. If Albert Einstein can say that, I'm just a small person who is trying to get some small rocks in front of a sea and the sea of knowledge, then who I am saying that I'm knowledgeable enough? That's the end part.
Thank you very much, Arijit, for today's conversation and for your wisdom and for your knowledge and for your you're a really amazing speaker. I really like your speech and how you usually talk with the audience, speak with the audience. Thank you for joining us, and I hope we will have an interview with you also in our future.
100% sure, but because you're saying that I can speak a lot, if you forgot that I'm an introvert person, so maybe probably in next episode of yours, if you want, I can always share that how an introvert person can become extrovert and become a public speaker and speak in platforms like TEDx and other international platform. I spoke in how many numbers of international platforms I really forgot. But how you can do that and how you can overcome your fear, probably I'll be more than happy to help your audience for that.
Oh, it's a really wonderful idea. Thank you very much. It was one of my questions, because I saw how much you're a great speaker. So you're a really amazing speaker. You remember we met with you in Dubai, and
Yeah.
I saw that you were a keynote speaker, and
Yeah.
I was admired. Yeah, and okay, yeah, it's a great idea. Thank you very much. Looking forward
Pleasure.
for our next
Looking forward.
interview, and thank you for joining us. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Paka.
Пока. Пока-пока.
Paka paka.
Так, и мы завершаем наш прямой эфир. Всем счастливо. Пожалуйста, присоединяйтесь на следующее наше интервью. Это всего лишь начало.